bring value to you and answer your questions. So we always have dedicated question and answer time. We call that AMA, Ask Me Anything, or Ask Mike Anything. And that's what our AMA is. And and again, we are coming to you live today. If you guys have any questions, literally just type your questions in the comment section, and we will see them and be able to answer them live in real time. And if you are interested in actually coming on camera, I will type that in as well in the comment section, and we can literally bring you on camera. For those of you that are watching live on Instagram, best bet is go to YouTube channel, and go to YouTube and go to our YouTube channel, which is Marketing Luxury Group, and you will see this stream live, and I can bring you on camera. You can ask your questions on Instagram as well. Again, I'm your host, Michael LaFIdo. If you're getting value from today's episode or previous episode or our podcast, or maybe you've invested in our book on Amazon, please, if you get value, leave us a like, leave us a review. And if you have a suggestion, you have a guest you think would be an amazing guest, please let us know who that is. And we'd be happy to talk to them, because we're always looking to bring on various guests to our show. Our next in-person designation event is in Milwaukee, 32 days away. We're coming to Milwaukee. Even if you're not an agent in Wisconsin, about a third of agents that attend our live designation events fly to the event. They can fly into Chicago or fly into Milwaukee. That's going to be all the details you can find there at luxurydesignation.com. If you go to luxurydesignation.com, you will find all the information about our upcoming event in Milwaukee, luxurydesignation.com. All right. So we have a podcast out there. Many of you have commented about our podcast. You've seen our podcast. We're getting a lot of great guests and a lot of great feedback on our podcast. And I'm going to bring on here in a minute our 204th podcast guest, which his releases next week. But I wanted to bring him on today just to kind of give you a little teaser what the full 30-minute podcast is all about. So with that being said, I'm going to bring on our 204th podcast guest, which releases next week. Again, you can go to that episode next week, and his name is Dugan Riley. I'm going to bring Dugan on. Dugan, you there?
I am here.
Hey, Dugan. I have Dugan Riley. Dugan last summer interned for me. And again, if you want to see Dugan on, if you're on Instagram, go to our live stream. You can just go to luxuryfridays.com, click on the top link, or go to our YouTube channel and go to YouTube and go to Marketing Luxury Group, hit that red button, subscribe, and you can see our live stream right now. And if you want to ask questions of Dugan, type them in the comment sections, or from me, or I'm bringing on another guest here in about 15 minutes. So I have Dugan Riley on. Dugan was an intern last year. Last summer, he interned for me. I won't give you the huge background story. You can listen to our podcast next week, our 204th episode with Dugan, and I'll give you a little bit more backstory. But I have Dugan Riley. He interned for me last summer. He was going into his senior year last summer. He became a licensed real estate agent in a market in a state that he'd never lived in. He was dating a gal. She took a job down in Tennessee in the Nashville market. So he moved down there on graduated college, I think May 9th or 10th, and moved down there May 11th or 12th. Is that accurate?
That is correct. Yeah.
So you moved down there 3 months ago. You didn't know anybody, didn't have a database of past clients. And what I want to focus on today's Luxury Fridays and kind of a prelude to the podcast episode is you implemented one of the strategies that I taught you, and that's leveraging other people's properties, in this case, other people's open houses. And you've hosted, when we recorded our podcast, about 15 open houses at other people's listings. Because do you have a listing right now?
No, I'm working on it though.
No listings. Have you had a listing yet, ever?
Nope.
So Dugan has never had a listing, but yet he's hosted 15 or more open houses at other people's listings, including a $4.2 million listing and a $4.5 million listing. Is that correct?
That is correct. Yes.
So that is one of the things that we teach agents, because the most listened to radio station that listing agents have is what's in it for them. So when Dugan calls them, Dugan already knows, because I've coached him up on that agent. What keeps that agent awake at night is, how am I going to get this listing sold? And maybe, how am I going to get this seller off my rear end to get the listing sold? Because they're calling me saying, why isn't my home selling? Why isn't it selling? So I've ingrained that into Dugan. And so when Dugan calls agents about their listings, he already knows that. But it's all about win-win. So he wants to present something on a silver platter, so it's a win-win for that agent, for the seller, and for Dugan. But agents are busy, and they're not always the nicest people in the world, especially sometimes those luxury agents. Their claws come out. So Dugan was very, very authentic and very transparent, which I appreciate. You said a lot of agents were rude to you. Some, said, I'm too busy. You didn't always have the warmest reception, and you probably still don't. Is that accurate?
That is correct. Yeah. Yep, for
Tell us a
sure.
little bit about that.
Yeah. So, I reached out to 467 agents on the MLS that had, at first I was doing, just properties above a certain price point. And then I was like, I'm just going to reach out to everyone. So I started to do that. You get a lot of the agents that weren't so nice, that were like, oh, sorry, like basically screw off, or I have a team or something like that. And they're like, oh, like I got one text. It was a kind of crazy text, but he sent me a whole paragraph. It was like, I was reading it for like 15 minutes, and he basically said how he hates how young agents are coming in calling this whole luxury, and he's been in this market for so long, and he's told me basically to get out of Nashville.
You got to earn your stripes, and it's not easy, and how dare you, and you got to put more years in. You're not ready for
Mhm.
this. Is that
Yeah,
pretty accurate? This is the first you're
yeah.
telling me this, but
He basically said, you do not have enough experience. You need to leave Nashville, get out of my market, and you don't know what you're talking about. So that's basically the whole gist of the paragraph that he sent.
so there's a couple of responses that Duke can have, and one of them is, it's the old devil angel. The devil's saying, you know what, maybe he's right. Maybe he's right. Then you have the other, which is the sign behind me that says prove them wrong. It's the same. It's a motto that's in my book. It's a motto that I say a lot of times at the end of our podcast. It's on the back of my book, prove them wrong. It's in my office, as you can see it, prove them wrong. And so, Dugan, hopefully you've built that confidence, and you're continuing to build yourself up, and iron sharpens iron. And you probably wanted to say some things that weren't politically correct, or maybe not the nicest is what you wanted to respond. But, hopefully that was a drive to prove him wrong.
For sure. And I've learned that, sometimes it's better not to just even respond, just, leave them hanging and be the bigger person, and just, what, delete the message and not respond, and
Yeah.
go from
Yeah.
there. So,
Well, good for you. Good for you. Well, so we have Dugan Riley on. Those of you that are just joining us, I'm your host, Michael LaFIdo. I'm the author of the book, Luxury Listing Specialist. I'm the founder of the luxury designation called LUXE. And we have somebody coming on this program in about 10 minutes out of the Dallas-Fort Worth market. And she talked about how going through our course changed her career. She was sidelined last year, 6 months. She had COVID in bed, and she still had her best year ever because of the principles. So Lucinda is going to be coming on here in a few minutes. Again, if you guys have an email, if you're watching a replay of this, you can shoot me an email at Michael@Marketing Luxury Group if you have any questions. But don't forget to type in your questions in the comment section right now for Dugan. He is a licensed agent, licensed for about 3 months, and he's hoping to get a listing. Had a listing appointment today that canceled, but him and I will talk about that a little bit later, or you could talk about it now. How did you get that listing appointment?
yeah, so that is from cold calls. So I've been hitting the phones, dialing left and right, expired, canceled, for sale by owners. Been doing 450 calls a day. I got that listing appointment today. I have actually two others today. So one guy, it's one person with two listings. One guy liked kind of what I had to say. And he was like, you know what? I do have another off market property that, I might be interested in selling. So we could talk about that one also. So that will be close to about $1 million worth of listings there. I have another call today that I have scheduled that I cold called. So that's at 2 o'clock. So we're going to try to set the appointment, set the hook on that one. And then I have another one that I just got for Monday. So, hitting the phones, dialing, getting the appointments, and, reeling them in.
So Dugan is not afraid to make phone calls. Again, shy real estate agents have skinny kids. You can't be shy. You can't hope it. You can't wish it. You got to put in WORK. It's not easy. Real estate agents and a lot of people in this world today, they're looking for the easy button, right?
That was easy.
And there's no easy button. Making 400 calls a day, that's less than 1% of real estate agents in the country have probably made 400 cold calls in their career, let alone a day. So keep it up, Dugan. And of course, one of the things that I've helped you do is, leverage our association, our group. You're leveraging some of our videos and our website and our branding, and I'm coaching you up on that. And so, you look the part, but looking the part is 10% of it, right? You got to feel the part, you got to have the knowledge, you got to have the resources, and you continue to do that. And so I want to commend you on that. So you're doing open houses, and just give people an idea. You're doing open houses at other people's properties, so to speak. So tell everybody a little bit on how you're able to do that.
Yeah. So I basically built a connection with these agents. I wasn't getting these luxury open houses at first. I did get lucky here and there. But this one agent that I reached out to him. He is a new build. He was listing a property for the builder, priced at 4.2. And I was like, hey, have you ever thought about doing an open house? And in my market, those kind of price points, it's very frowned upon to do an open house for, that kind of price point. But since it was a new construction, they never done an open house. And the builder was like, you know what? Done everything. The only thing I haven't done was an open house. So let's do it. So I did an open house for them that one day. I told them how I got 20 something groups in, got a lot of attention, a lot of people that were, looking and loved the property. And I got a few buyers here and there, but you have those looky-loos, and you have,
Sure. And
those
sometimes
people that,
you mentioned before you had so much traffic at one point you couldn't even keep track, and you couldn't necessarily make sure they signed in.
correct.
You're doing some signage to get people there, so you're getting 20 people. Now every market's different. Some markets right now are a lot slower, and they might not get 2 people in an open house. So Dugan's getting 20 people in multi-million-dollar listing open houses, and even if 10% of them are legitimate buyers, that's 2 buyers. And if one of them isn't represented, you have a choice and hopefully a chance to work with them. Didn't you share with me you're working with a buyer right now that's 2.5 million to 5 million? Now they're a little further out, but that's from an open house, correct?
Yeah. So their budget is 2.5 to now it's 6 million, because I went out to dinner with them the other day. But yeah, they're a little farther out. They want something very specific, very secluded, privacy. They're about to work on a family and building a family. So they want something that they can build a family in and be very secluded and, have that privacy factor. So that one's a little farther out. So it's a long-term plan, that one. The other thing I was going to say, though, is that a lot of agents don't know how to do a successful open house. And, like Michael has to say, it's not about the market, it's about the marketing. So when I do my open houses, whether it be a day or 2 days before, I have a huge 15-foot flag that says open house with my name on it and my picture. And I place it on the intersection of the house, of the street where the house is, to create that buzz to, because it sticks out like a sore thumb. You get these typical,
Traditional
like red and white open house signs from Home Depot. And, everyone uses those, and they're so small, they're teeny. So you can't see them as much as this 15-foot flag could see. So, I've been using that, and it's been creating a lot of buzz. Unfortunately, a lot of negative buzz, but a lot of, when you get, I was actually thinking about this the other day. When negativity comes, there has to be a positive, because when it comes to power, you can't just have a negative to create power. You have to have a negative and a positive to create power. So whenever there's a negative, there's always going to be a positive somewhere. Whether it just won't be as spoken out as negatives will be. So that's something I thought about here, that, you're always going to conquer negatives for sure.
Yeah, so I appreciate that, and my one of my mentors, Dan S. Kennedy, says whether someone says something good about you or bad about you, hey, they're talking about you. So Dugan's using some really big banners. We got a couple people watching. Mark, thanks for being loyal. Mark Benson, KW down in Florida. Mark, we got to come down and do a training together, maybe at your market center. Again, we have 2 courses approved in Florida for CE, Mark, so we'd love to come down, do something. I'm actually going to be in Orlando next week. Next week I'm going to be in Orlando, and I want to share with you this. I'm doing this event next week for a small little boutique brokerage called Coombs Realty, and they literally are going to be. They're going to be hosting. I'm doing this event at a mansion next week. I can't wait. Combs Premier Realty is bringing me down, and we're doing an event at a 20,000 square foot mansion next Thursday. So that's in the top left. These are some upcoming events on our website. We're going to be in Florida next week at Coombs Realty. There's my Milwaukee event, and then I'm speaking at the LGBTQ Alliance event end of September. So Mark, thanks for that. Again, just a reminder, our blog is just Lux Redefined. If you go to Lux Redefined, that is our blog. It's on the screen right now, Lux Redefined. We produce some really great educational videos. The video we released this week's are 3 benefits of using a land trust, a homeowner owning title in a land trust for to stay anonymous, and it helps with liability as well. So that's our blog. You can go to Lux Redefined. Of course, our podcast, which is Luxury Listing Podcast. You'll be over there, and you'll see some of our recent podcasts released. And Dugan will be on here shortly. And then, of course, our upcoming event in 32 days and 22 hours is going to be in Milwaukee. So take a look at that. It's in Milwaukee. Again, so Dugan, you brought up some really good points. I appreciate that. And so Dugan, you're never going to, what you focus on expands is one of the things I talk about. We do have a question from a guest for Dugan, and I want to bring this up. Brissa Yepes, I'm probably mispronouncing it. Type in where you're from and who you're with. But she said 450 calls a day. That's amazing. What are you saying on your calls? So Dugan, if you don't mind, let's do a little role play here. And you're the homeowner, and I'm you. And we're going to do a little role playing. And this is calling a canceled, expired, or for sale by owner. For this sake, let's say canceled. And then we'll do a by owner in a minute. Ring, ring.
Hello.
Hey, this is Dugan Riley with, I'm calling to see if you're still interested in selling your home. No, actually, that wouldn't be. We're going to role play, and I'm going to have you be Dugan Riley, and I'm going to be Michael LaFIdo, the skeptical, frustrated seller. Their home's been on the market. So let's role play it.
All right. Ring, 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 ring.
Yeah. Hey, this is Mike.
Hey, this is Dugan. I was calling about your property here at 123 Main Street here in Illinois. Is that correct?
Yeah. Hey, yes. How can I help her? Are you a buyer?
Yeah, perfect. So I am with EXP, and I saw you had your property for sale a little bit ago, but you decided to take it off the market. Are you still interested in selling?
Yeah, I am, for the right price. Do you have somebody?
Okay. What is that price?
Well, we were most recently on at $450,000. Do you have somebody, you think?
I do have a pool of buyers in the area that it's looking. But why are you selling?
Honestly, the taxes are so high in Illinois. We have corrupt politicians. Just want to go somewhere that's maybe less taxes.
Okay. Have you decided where you would want to go?
Yeah, we're going to go down to Florida.
Okay, good to know. And the last agent you used, how was the feedback with her? Did you have some good open houses, some showings?
We had decent activity, but honestly, I felt like the only time I heard from her is when she wanted me to lower the price.
Mm, interesting. So did you guys do any open houses?
She did one the first week, um, but that we didn't get any offers. So she said, open houses don't work.
Mm, interesting. Okay.
Why do you?
So
What do you do? How would you sell my house?
yeah. So typically, a normal agent has 3 points of a marketing plan. So they take pictures, they list it on the MLS, and they broadcast it on Zoom. Or sorry, not Zoom, Zillow, and the other websites. I actually have an 89-point marketing plan that goes takes care of those three, but also 87 more points on how we can market your property and get it sold.
Well, that sounds pretty good. I mean, can I look something up online, or you send me something?
Yeah, no, I would love to, talk with you more about it. I would like to actually show you in person kind of what we can do for you. Um, does today at 4 o'clock work for you to sit down?
No, today's not good. I need a little bit more time, but um, uh, I would like to. I'm really skeptical. I've gotten 87 other calls, as you can imagine. Everybody's promising to sell my house, um, and I've had people call other relatives of mine, and it's quite frustrating. Uh,
Mm,
so I'd like to do a little bit more due diligence on you. So,
mm.
can you shoot me a text or shoot me an email with some more information on you and your team and how you've sold other homes and maybe your 80-point marketing plan or whatever you just shared with me?
Yeah, no, I'd love to. The question is, how, on a scale of 1 to 10, how motivated are you to sell this property?
Well, at the right price, I'm a 10. At the wrong price, I'm a
hmm
1.
Okay. Okay. Good to know. And you guys dropped the price 2 times here?
Yeah, we started at 499, which was the agent's suggestion, and I personally thought that was a little high, but I said let's go with it. And then she, said lower the price, pretty much from day two. And so I'm really skeptical of most agents, be honest with you. But if you can send me some information, I'd be happy to look at it. And
hmm
I still would like to sell. Um, Thinking of just keeping the house off the market till next spring when there's more buyers. But I'll take a look at it.
Okay, awesome. The other thing I did have to tell you is there's two things as far as what makes a house sell. The first is price. The second is marketing. And it sounds like from what you've been telling me, your past agent didn't do a good job at pricing the property, and she also didn't do a good job at marketing the property. So we could definitely help you get like I said, in our 89-point marketing plan broadcasts to thousands of different websites. Our team has done 1,500 sales in the last year, sold about 300 million in volume. So I'll definitely get you over some information about me and also my team. And then I'll follow up with you either tomorrow or the next day to see what you thought about our website and what we do.
Hey, that sounds like a plan. I appreciate it. Send it over and we'll be in touch.
Sounds good.
Click. All right. So looking back real quick, a couple things what Dugan did, right? So Dugan shared with us earlier how doesn't have no listings, and I know this. He's had one sale so far in 3 months. So he leveraged his team. He leveraged the brokerage. Maybe you're not on a team watching this, but your brokerage has sold 1,100 homes. Leverage the success of your company or your team until you have your own track record. So that was brilliant. I was kind of a skeptical guy, and you didn't answer some questions, but I came back and asked them. So that was a for sale by owner. So let's do that. Excuse me. That was a canceled or expired listing. Okay. Now you call me and I'm a for sale by owner. Ring
Mm.
ring.
Hello.
Yeah. Hey, this is Mike.
Hey, Mike. This is Dugan with EXP Realty. I see your property at 123 Main Street. You're selling it for sale by owner. Is that correct?
Yes, I am.
Okay. And if I brought you a qualified buyer, are you willing to pay a 3% co-op?
Yeah. I mean, if you brought me a price that's acceptable to me early on, I was saying, no, I'm not going to pay another agent, but I'll pay you 2.5%, but yeah, I'll pay you.
Okay, perfect. Good to know. And how long are you going to be selling your property on your own before you kind of list with a professional real estate agent?
I'm going to test it out for, I got some time on my hands. I like cutting the grass and photo sang wang. So I'm probably looking at about 30 days or so.
Okay, good to know. And do you have a relative or a friend that's in the real estate business?
I got a friend that sells real estate as well. Yeah.
Do you feel obligated to go with him to list with him if after those 30 days it doesn't sell?
I mean, I'm leaning on him, but leaning towards him, but I'm open to ideas. I mean, ultimately, it's a business decision. I want top dollar, and so if there's another agent that can show me how they're going to net me more money, I'd consider it.
Okay, good to know. Good to know. So as far as why are you selling the property? Are you looking to move somewhere or?
Yeah, we're looking to sell and get out of the area.
Okay, where you moving to?
Uh, we are moving out of the area. Yeah, totally out of the state.
Okay, well, good to know. And when do you want to be out of the state into your new state?
Uh, we got time, as long as I get my price. No rush.
Okay. Okay. Good to know. Um, well, are you going to do any open houses this weekend or like what are you doing for marketing to get your property sold?
Word of mouth. I posted on Facebook Marketplace uh, and just to kind of let some neighbors know, and got some put out a sign, and got a lot of people like you calling me and dropping off mailers telling me they got buyers, um, but I've shown it privately a few times.
Okay. Well, good to hear that. Um, well, I know that you've been doing a little bit marketing here, but what if I told you I could, use my 89-point marketing plan, broadcast your property on thousands of websites, get it in front of thousands of people. We would do an open house twice a weekend. We'll do the showings that you need, qualify your buyers up front, and make sure you get your property sold within that 30 days.
I mean, that sounds good on the surface. I'm not going to lie to you. It sounds great, but I'm skeptical because I have other agents trying to tell me they're the best thing since sliced bread as well.
Mm.
Um, so I am going to be interviewing some agents on Monday. Um, I got 6 of them lined up. I'd be happy to add you to that list.
Okay. Does Monday at 8 a.m. work?
No, that's too early. I work out at Orange Theory Fitness, but I'm starting interviews at 10. I have a 10 o'clock right now. I don't have a 10. How much time do you need? First off,
Yeah, I need like 10 minutes of your time.
you're telling me you're going to meet with me 10 minutes and go thoroughly through your presentation in 10 minutes?
Correct. Yep. I'll do it all in 10 minutes. Short and sweet. I'll be honest with you, be full transparent, show you how I can get your property sold.
Wow. A 10-minute listing presentation. Okay. So I have a 10 o'clock and then I have a 10:30 open. You want to do 10:30?
Let's do 10:30. Yeah, 10:30 works perfectly for me.
Okay. Yeah. The other guy told me he needs an hour, but I don't want an hour. So I'll tell him he's got a half hour.
Yeah. Okay. Perfect. Yeah, I'll mark it down for 10:30. I'm gonna send you over a. Actually, what's your good email?
Uh, uh, XYZ Street at hotmail.com.
Perfect. Perfect. Okay. I'll send you over a calendar invite. Be sent to your email, and then
Spamming me though. I don't like those spam emails. You're
oh,
just
don't worry.
invite.
I won't be spamming you. I'll send you one invite to showcase that we are, meeting in person. And then I'll send you over a text on my personal number,
Okay.
a follow up text to confirm that we are meeting at 10:30 in the morning on Monday.
Okay.
And then we'll go from there.
Oh, that sounds good. And can you do me a favor? Send me over a link or something a little bit more about you, because I don't know who you are, and I'd like to a little bit more about you.
Yeah, that will be in the text message that I sent you.
Okay. Okay. Perfect. Looking forward to it. Thank you.
Yeah.
All right. So that was, you're doing a nice job there, Dugan, to coach you up. I mean, you've done a nice job. If I were to say my mom is when you asked how long are you going to give it before you explore other options, I said 30 days. Whatever they tell you, if you're in a hot market, divided by 3, so 10 days. If you're in a so-so market, divided in half. If I said 6 months, it's going to be a month and a half to 3 months. If I said 45 days, it's going to be 15 days to 22 and a half days, right? So, That's the key. The other thing is if they tell you, yes, my mom's a real estate agent. In the past, I'd say you're probably not going to get that listing. False. I sold a $2 million home recently, and the mom was the agent with Sotheby's, and the seller fired mom and hired me. So don't don't think um, that that's not the case either. Okay, so just want to share that with you. I had one question. So how many hours a day are you making calls, Dugan?
Yeah, it all depends on the day. I would say I try to push for between 2 to 4 hours a day. And that, obviously it varies on the day to day basis. Um, I try to do, mornings, I try to get out of the way. But if I can't, I'll do the perfect time between 4 and 6 p.m., if not start a bit earlier. So,
Nice. Which dialer are you using?
so I use a chip line dialer with Mojo.
Okay. Mojo dialer. Yep. I tried dialing for a while years back, but it's not my thing. And then I did a lot of cancel and expired mailers. Um, so some really good information there. So Dugan Riley sharing. Deborah Abraham, can we level up? Can we level our upline? I'm not sure what you mean there, Deborah. Expound a little bit, but thank you for everybody that's chiming in. I appreciate it. Please type in your questions. I'm your host, Michael LaFIdo. Questions for me, AMA, Ask Mike Anything, or Ask Me Anything, or Dugan Riley, who's going to be our guest on our 204th podcast. Again, if I were to share our podcast and I'm going to share my screen, go to literally, you can go to luxury listing podcast.com and it will take you over here and you'll see Dugan's podcast here. Next Thursday, we'll release that. Again, our next live in person event is 32 days away, 21 hours away in Milwaukee. It's going to be amazing. All the information, you can go to luxurydesignation.com. We got some great sponsors, and we're going to have amazing full day training. You're going to get over $2,445 in value for only $797. Again, I have a special guest coming on here. She's going to be jumping on today here. Hopefully, she's supposed to be on now. She's not on now, but literally, a I had this young lady attend my event in Dallas 2 years ago. Lucinda Gadson. She's a Remax agent. And she increased her average sale price by 60%, by 60% by attending my luxury designation training. I had the head of Remax Luxury attend this event. We had over 50 agents there, but Lucinda Gadson's average sale price went from 250 to 400,000 by implementing the strategies. And she's our 206th guest on our podcast, and she's supposed to be hopping on here any minute. So with that being said, I have Dugan Riley on. Dugan, and okay, I appreciate you said. All right, so Deborah, you explained a little bit like you and your stats for newbies. So yeah, so you can level up. So yes, Deborah, you can level up like Dugan has. Dugan said that they've done over 1,000 transactions, and Dugan hasn't. He's a brand new agent, but he's leveraged his brokerage. So yes, Deborah, you can leverage your brokerage or other people within your brokerage. Okay, leverage that. Now, don't say it's you, but leverage your other agents within your firm. You certainly can do that. So great question, Deborah. Dugan, any other things that you want to add while before I let you go?
Yeah, two things. So I forget the lady that asked about the scripts and what I use for what for calling. The one person that I use is actually called Haas Pratt. So Haas Pratt has a perfect system that he showcases all of his scripts. So I use all of his scripts, learn from him on dialing and cold calling. So that system is called Listing Boss. So that's a really cool system to go through. I bought into it a few weeks ago, and it was well worth my money. I mean, I've already gotten a few appointments here and there in the first 2 weeks using the system. So, I mean, it's really um, a highly good system to use. And the
Haas is a
second
great
thing,
guy. Consider Haas a friend. I was one of Haas Pratt's coaching clients. I coached his clients years ago. Go ahead. I'm sorry. The second point.
Yeah, the second point I'll have to say is obviously the different markets are different, but here in Nashville, we have a bunch of luxury high end communities being built, and a lot of agents that are listing agents for these communities. They're contract to the builder, so they get a lot of buyers that come into their open houses or their community that they would like to see, but a lot of these people that come in, a lot of these buyers don't necessarily buy in the community. So what I've done is, since they are contract to the builder, they can't sell outside of the community. So what I've done is build a strong connection with a listing agent inside of that higher end community. I think it's priced low end's high end is like 8 million on the community that they built. So I partnered up with her, and she is referring me to all the buyers that are not buying in the community. So she's handing them out my card and saying, hey, if you're looking for a property outside, reach out to Dugan, who will help you. And then on the back end, I'm paying her a referral fee. But it's just a good way to network my name out there, get my name out there to more people, and having someone else market my name. So that's what I've been doing here. She just said that she has a buyer that came in looking. She's buying a condo here at a new Four Seasons building down in Nashville, and he's also buying a primary resident, hopefully looking in the range of $10 million buyer. So she's going to refer him out to me if he does not buy in the community. So that's another great way to work other luxury buyers too.
So tell me a little bit about this. I mean, you're a new agent, you're younger in nature. How did you bring value to that sales rep? Uh, did nobody else go to her and ask that? Or if so, she obviously claims she's sending them to you versus other people. So how did you bring value? Because one of the things we talk about is the best way to get a referral is give a referral, or the best way to build relationships with people in the Chamber of Commerce, other business owners, is be a great listener and understand what keeps them awake at night and what their ideal client is. And so if you can send them more of their ideal client and help solve some of their stress and anxieties, you're going to be top of mind awareness to them. So
Mhm.
what kind of value add a newer agent of 3 months that doesn't have any listings, has sold one deal? How did you approach this lady?
Yeah, so it wasn't the first conversation I have with her. I didn't just go into talking with her and be like, "Hey, give me some buyers, I'll give you a referral fee." That
Sure,
wasn't how it
you build
worked.
rapport
Um,
first.
yeah, yep. So it all started when it was first month I was out here. I was going through doing open houses, going to other people's open houses in the higher end market, getting my name out there, meeting the agents, building a connection with other agents that, you do business with in the market. So
Mhm.
we started talking. I told her I was new to the area, and I was kind of telling her about all the ideas I wanted to do, and the gap that I saw in this market. And so, we kind of left it off at that. And she said, actually, we might be thinking about hiring someone else on our sales agents, or on the sales side, because they're building a new community.
Okay.
And so she talked to me about that. We're still thinking about it. Um, but I mean, I know she said I would probably have to change brokerages. I'm not really too much of a fan of that. So if I do have to change brokerages, I probably wouldn't do it. Um, but yeah, no. So we had that conversation, and then it was a few weeks later. I was just like, hey, I know I gave her a call, and I was like, I know you probably get a lot of people that come into your open houses that you guys host that, don't end up buying in the area. And you probably don't even get a piece of the pie if, you do refer them out or something like that. So I said, hey, you know what? If you refer them to me, I'll give you a piece of the pie. I'll give you a referral agreement. And then, you'll still get paid at the end of the day. I'll find them a house. It's a win-win situation. So, that's how I went about it.
That's smart. And we talk about win-wins. We talk about all about them, what's in it for them. That's one of the things that we stress in our trainings is bringing value adds and reverse engineering and figure out what do they want to hear. Don't tell them what they want to hear from a salesman BS standpoint, but from an authenticity and bringing an actual value, bring that to them. So Dugan, That was awesome. I appreciate it. And Dugan, what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring Lucinda on here. Lucinda, give
Sure.
me a thumbs up if you can hear me. Okay, so I got three people on there. I got Lucinda, I got Dugan, but Dugan, I'm going to let you go. But I wanted you to say hi to Lucinda because you're going to learn from her on next podcast. And Lucinda, Dugan's doing some great things with some open houses as well. So I know you can learn from him as well.
Yes, I can.
All right, awesome. Hey, Dugan, make it a great Friday.
Sounds good. You too.
All right. Thanks again for your help. And Dugan Riley, episode 204, it's being released next week on luxurylistingpodcast.com. Luxury Listing Podcast next week. Check it out. Thanks, Dugan. Make it a great Friday.
Sounds good. I'll see you guys later.
All right. See ya. All right. So I have Lucinda Gadson, and I kind of teased the audience. So thanks for jumping on here. Lucinda will be our next podcast guest. But bottom line is she has a small team in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. She's out of Arlington. Her average
Yeah.
sale price is around $400,000, which increased by 60% over a couple of years ago when she literally, if you look on the screen right now, you'll see Lucinda, the class picture from the luxury designation training that you were
I
at.
see that.
Isn't that you right up there?
Let me see if I
I
see
think
me.
that's you up there. And so we had
That
over
is my class, though, because I
Yep.
remember everybody in
We
there.
had over 50 agents in that class, and your average sale price about the time of the class was $250,000. And you went through the class and you had some big takeaways. Now, I don't want you to ruin it for everybody because we just recorded our podcast before jumping on here, and that's going to be released on September 8th, your episode. Again, go to luxurylistingpodcast.com and keep an eye out for Lucinda's podcast. Hit the subscribe button and you'll be notified when her podcast releases. But tell everybody a little bit about what some of your big takeaways were, Lucinda. You're with Remax, and you saw me in 2015. I did a 3-hour training down in the Houston market, in the Woodlands upper end market. And there were about 1,000 agents at that event. I did a 3-hour event. You learn some things then. And then when I came to town to Dallas 5 years later and I was doing my full day luxury designation training, you were like, I got to go. So tell everybody a little bit about that.
I did learn a lot. I see myself now from the left from you. Yes, I
Okay.
see
Yeah.
myself now.
Yeah.
Okay. What I learned, there's a few things, bullet points that I saw. Okay. If you decide that you want to increase your price point, the best way is to mingle with the people that are at that price point. What I learned from you, number one, was if you don't live in a $1 million house, just drive to that neighborhood and start working in that neighborhood, getting to know that neighborhood. I shared with you, Michael, earlier that I am from South Lake. I was born in Grapevine and grew up, went to high school in South Lake. And so my friends are from Colleyville, South Lake, Grapevine. And so I just go over there with the alumni. And then I also in Mansfield, Texas, my kids go to school there. I volunteer at the school and bring the Remax balloon. And I use every tip you told me to use to make sure that I could be mingling with those people, helping those people, increasing their people. Another thing that one of the people that I heard on a podcast said,
My podcast or another podcast?
your
Oh,
podcast
okay.
with luxury listings, if you have a I would have never thought of this. All these things, these little bullet points are things I would have never personally thought of. Okay. Find out your highest price point client and what is what is the thing they give to? What is their passion that they will feed into? And so I found I helped a basketball player find a place here in the Dallas Fort Worth area, and he likes to do the to take the inner city kids, and he's a millionaire. He could do it all by himself. However, everybody needs help with their charities. So I gave to him 1,500, and I would have never thought of doing that because I have my own charities. I never would have thought of doing that, and it sure has made me grow. Another thing I learned from you was the videos at the. Now this was yours, not on your podcast. This is something I learned in the class.
Mm-hmm.
To do the videos feel the lifestyle. And I copied your video, but Texas style on a ranch that I was selling. I can't wait to find it to share it with you because it was so cool. It was just so cool. I can't even explain to you. And I would have never thought of doing that. I never would have thought of doing that.
So again, we're in a show and tell industry. So you saw me present, and I didn't just tell you about this video. I actually showed you a lot of
Yes.
various videos to get your creative juices flowing. You took notes. It made an impression where you had this property you shared with me on our podcast interview.
Yeah.
It was about 100 acres. It was a buffalo ranch, but they also could host events and weddings, and so tell everybody about the video that you produced.
Your video that you showed was people that were able to show the lifestyle of the people that lived in the Chicago house. But I took that and I made it Texas style. So what I did is driving down through to the main house, the GMC Sierras, the nice big trucks, and then an Escalade coming down because mom has to have something to drive.
Yeah.
And
Mom
I had
wanted the Escalade where Dad was driving the pickup truck.
Yes, 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 but the upper end ones.
Yeah.
And number one, and I had people come and ride their horses on the properties, and we had the aerials, and we had the videos from people riding their horses, and the buffalo grazing, and just the lifestyle. The
Mm-hmm.
lifestyle. With that being said, I learned that from you. Also, I learned from you. Guess what? Because I was making friends down at the car dealership. I was making friends at the Cadillac dealership, the GMC dealership. I drive a Volvo, and my friends at the Volvo, at Autobahn Volvo here in Fort Worth, said, "Why didn't you invite us?" And I said, "You don't see a lot of Volvos on ranches." And they said, "A Volvo's better than a Jeep." And so I will always include them now. But my point
Yeah.
being is that now I have more friends that are referring to me that are at these high end places. I learned that from the words that you spoke. That's how you were getting your clients in the beginning, if I remember correctly.
That is correct. It was 8 years ago we produced our first lifestyle video where we brought in 4 cars, a horse, and Crane Chicago Business wrote about it, and it was actually 8 years ago this past week. So you reached out to me 2 weeks ago out of the blue. Didn't have you saved in the phone number. I had to ask you to repeat the name once, but then once you shared with me, I remembered you. Uh, but Lucinda, you called me out of the blue, and you were telling me you were recently at another luxury event, and tell everybody a little bit about that if you don't mind.
Oh, yes. As luxury listing agents, we kind of meet in different parts of the country and stuff like that. Just a group of us, not a lot, maybe 50 to 100 people. And we meet so we can refer. We get to know people to refer people to. So you become part of a group, I guess you could say.
Mm-hmm.
Well, anyway, uh, everybody was sitting around talking about your podcasts, how wonderful you are, how much you teach us how to be great, not
Well,
just good,
I
not
try.
just licensed, but great. And I worked 6 months last year, and I still made more money than I ever made in the real estate business. And I am a top producer in Texas. I'm always in the top 500.
So you last year you made top 500. You had your best year ever, and you could only work 6 months. It's not like you were cruising a cruise around Alaska and to Italy. You had COVID. You were bedridden, but you
Yes.
still had your best year ever. And what do you attribute that to?
Um, my higher price point, learning how to be a better agent. The things I've learned from you taking the Lux classes, even if I still was working at 250, which I don't have any desire to do that. But let's just say those are the clients that I was working at. I am a better listing agent. And when you're a better listing agent, you're a better buyer's agent because you can turn around and say, no, sellers say this,
Mm-hmm.
sellers say that.
Hmm.
So, and so you're a better buyer's agent because you know how sell. I learned not just how to do the videos, but do the lifestyle. I learned how to present a home as a lifestyle.
Hmm.
I learned it was more than just luxury. It was becoming a greater agent.
Oh, well, you're an implementer, so I appreciate you, and that's why I have you on here because the
Yeah.
other agents watching could benefit. You went from average sale price of 250 and at early 2020 to 2 years later, you've increased that 60%. And one of our goals for agents that go through our LUXE designation class, which by the way, our next one is going to be actually in Milwaukee. Our next one is going to be in Milwaukee in 32 days. We're looking forward to it. And you can just go to luxurydesignation.com, is to increase their average sale price by 30% or more. And you've done that. You've doubled that. You're at 60%. So I commend you for that. You're an implementer. I really appreciate all that you're doing for the industry. Um, any big key takeaways you want to share? And by the way, real quick, I'm getting some questions from other. So Brissa, you asked a great question that isn't necessary for Lucinda. Um, and this is your question: is you're trying to enter the luxury market. One of your team members is an attorney. Can we and how can we leverage her title experience for our team? The answer is yes, you can. And Brissa, that would be a great topic that I'd love to spend a Luxury Fridays really kind of focusing on. How can you leverage your backstory, whether it be you personally or other team members, to help position you to really focus more on those upper price points? So Brissa, do me a favor, send me an email. And those of you that are watching, if you have a similar topic or you think there would be a topic that would be beneficial, send me an email, and we'll schedule a Luxury Friday to bring you on as a guest, just like I'm doing with Lucinda, just like I did with Dugan. It'll be great exposure for you because if you have that question, Lucinda, or excuse me, Brissa, others will have that same question. So great question. I don't have time to answer that today other than yes, you can leverage that. I'd like to take a deep dive into that topic because people could be teachers, they could be barbers, they could be attorneys, they could be stay-at-home moms, they could be people of color, they could be former athletes. I can help you craft whatever your story is to your advantage to differentiate yourself from the other realtors. So great question. I don't want to discount it. I want to give you more time and give others more time to deep dive into that. So shoot me an email, Michael at Marketing Luxury Group. Again, if you're watching, guys, please type in your questions. I'll try to bring it on. If we don't have time to dive into it now, I'll answer it. That's one of the benefits of our luxury designation is we have a Facebook group where literally you can type in those type of questions and you get access to me and we'll give you some free coaching. And again, Luxury Fridays, you can AMA, ask Mike anything on Luxury Fridays. I'm your host, Michael LaFIdo. If you guys are getting value, please leave us a like, leave us a review. All right, so Lucinda, any parting words of recommendation? You took my class 7 years ago at a Remax conference in the woodlands of Texas, and then you took my full day designation training, which I'm sharing on the screen right now. That picture of the class picture. We're going to be coming down to Texas soon to do another training. Um, and what are your key takeaways? You mentioned on the podcast, any client that's 500 grand or less, you refer them in-house now. You won't even work with them unless it's maybe a close friend or something. Is that correct?
That is correct, and even a close friend. I might go out the first time or 2 times with them, but I will refer them out because my time has to be spent if I'm really going to become the luxury specialist. I have to specialize in luxury.
Okay, so that sounds amazing. Um, how do you articulate that? I'm your close friend. You sold my previous home, and 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 wait, you're not going to take me out? Like, talk to me through that because I'm sure that is something that pops up from time to time.
It is. It is, and I had a very hard lesson while I had COVID. I gave out, maybe 17 listings and a couple of buyers. And it was very hard. They were very mad at the beginning. Okay. And probably lost all the listings. I mean, we kept one. But anyway, so in COVID, I couldn't do this, but this is what I do now this year. So Michael, let's go out. I'm going to meet you at such and such house, or meet me at the office, or I'll come to your house. And that way we can talk about selling your house at the same time. And I'm going to bring Amy. And that's my buyer's agent. I'm just using her for an example. And let's say that you
Sure.
have the ranch. I would go, oh, I'm bringing Betty because Betty has a lot of expertise. And as we're speaking through it, I'm very pragmatic, and people that know me know that. And so I just say it. I say Amy's a little bit more chatty than I am, and she's going to be able to communicate better than I do. And especially if I'm busy, I don't want you to miss out on this great house or this great opportunity. So, and then I let her take over because she is extremely chatty. And I use that word. She has the most incredible ability to communicate. That is a better word.
Sure. Sure.
And so she's showing, and she's taking them upstairs, and she's doing this, and I just let her take over. And then I might, before the end of the day, I might say, okay, this house, which one did you like better? This house, this house. You know, this one had a lot nicer of a lawn, and that's worth a significant amount of money, especially in Texas, and blah, blah, blah. I might make my points about this or that or the other, or my opinion.
So you bring value.
Yeah, valued opinions, and
Mhm.
then I say, you know what? I'm going to give Amy your number, and she's going to call you, and she's going to make sure that we get your house sold, or that she takes you out to see those new builds I was telling you about, or those houses I was telling you about that are supposed to come up pretty soon. That gives me the opportunity to look for a house that's a little bit better value for you because you're so valuable to me. And then, other than answering their calls and going, "What are you doing, girl? What are you doing?" Whatever. Other than doing that, I literally will let Amy have it. Now, the deal that we have in our office, other people don't have to do that, is that I'm taking her out. I'm teaching her what I know. I'm teaching her the things of this, that, and the other. If we go out together, it is my sale. If we execute a contract on that time, after that, she just has to pay me a referral fee. After that,
And the deal goes under your name.
yeah, well, yeah, because
Yeah.
she's on my
So you're
team.
building your team, but she's financially benefiting. She's getting experience, and it's a win-win. So
Yeah,
again, the bottom line is Lucinda's uh, had to let go a little bit, and she was forced to do it because of health reasons, but it could be a blessing in disguise. Now she trusts teammates more. She's better at articulating to the buyers and past clients why they're going to be working with this other agent on her team, but Lucinda's behind the scenes still involved. And that's called leverage. That's called leveraging other people's time. Okay. To build a team, to build a business, to break records, to sell X amount of homes or a certain volume you want to do, you got to put systems into place. You got to leverage other people's resources and time. And that's very helpful. So Lucinda is going to be our 206th podcast. It releases here in a few weeks on September 8th. I can't wait to release that. I know the people are going to get tons of value from that. And I appreciate what you're doing. And just keep raising the bar, Lucinda. And I look forward to staying in touch with you and hearing all about your successes. You're going to get me that video with the buffalo and the lifestyle video. We'll place it out in our group too for others to share. And that's one of the other benefits of being a Lux member. If you have a significant sale, you have a significant listing, you need feedback, you want a fresh eyes analysis on something, that's one of the things that we provide our luxury designation members. But if you are watching this and you don't have our designation and you have a stale luxury listing, you can always type it in the comment sections or shoot me an email ahead of time, and we'd be happy to bring it on the air and dive through it. Because if you're going through some struggles on how you can position a home better, more effectively, the viewers that are watching live or the replay, they could benefit as well. Lucinda, thank you so much. If somebody wants to get a hold of Lucinda Gadson, you can go to lucindagadson.com, her website. I appreciate what you're doing. Keep raising the bar, and I'll follow up with you in the short distant future, okay?
Thank you, my dear friend. I will speak to you and I'll be listening to you a lot.
Well, thank you. Thank you so much for the kind words. All right, Michael LaFIdo here, guys. You are listening to another Luxury Fridays. I'm your host. If you're getting value from this, please share it. Leave us a comment. Let us know you're watching. Again, I'm not getting paid for this. I'm trying to bring value. I'm trying to raise the bar for the industry. And so if you are getting value, please don't keep us a secret. Share it, comment. If you have our book, go to Amazon, leave us a 5-star review if we've earned it. And I appreciate it. And if you want some of our swag, our gear, you can go to literally, I'm going to pull it up on the screen right now, but you can go to luxury listing, excuse me, where are we at here? Yeah, it's on the bottom here. Luxury Specials gear right now, Luxury Specials gear. You see it across the bottom. That's where you can get some of our gear or our objection handling playing cards, our t-shirts, our hoodies. Go to Luxury Specials gear. Again, I'm your host, Michael LaFIdo. I appreciate what everybody is doing. Keep raising the bar. And again, love is love. Okay, love is love. And build others up, compliment people, whether they vote differently than you or not. Again, love is love. Doesn't mean just because you vote the same way, I like it. Love everybody. That's what God has called us to do. I'm your host, Michael LaFIdo. I appreciate everybody, and make it a great Friday and continue to prove others wrong. Take care until next time. You're watching another episode of the luxury listing show called Luxury Fridays. Michael LaFIdo. Take care.